And today I'm going to do the first episode of the new series I'm going to do called Pinterest Challenge, where I'm just going to take random Pinterest posts and I'm just going to see if I can make them. And I'm not going to go into and look at the instructions. Most of them don't come with them anyway, but I don't want to, tank the contest. I just kind of want to try it out and see if I can, mimic the piece of terrain that's made there as best of my ability. And today we're just going to try to make this Pinterest piece, which I'll put right here. This is just the actual Pinterest picture. This is not mine. This is what I found. I don't know who did it. I didn't look into it. Saw the picture, saved it, tried it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So follow along. The first thing I used to make this piece of terrain was this right here. It's like a little foam half sphere. I bought it from one of the hobby stores. It wasn't that expensive. I think it's maybe even less than $1. This one in particular, my son actually got a hold of it, and you can see right here is where he bit it. Yeah, he bit into it pretty good. There on the bottom too, yeah, you can see kind of see the teeth marks there. That's fine though, because we're actually going to use to cut out an entrance to the cave or whatever dungeon entrance anyway. So I'll just start there, and you can see my hand kind of shaking a little. That's just me. That's bad nerves. That's part of what I have to deal with when I'm making this stuff. It makes it a little more difficult, but I kind of learned to adapt. Now, as far as cutting an entrance into this, you can use various knives. I just used this one because one I have, and you be very careful because you don't want to hurt yourself. I'm terrible with knives if maybe you getting hurt, but I've mentioned it a time or two. Yeah, so I'm just gonna cut like a circle there where I want the entrance to be, and then I'm gonna turn around and do the same thing on the bottom, and then I'm just going to cut it into small sections, like a bunch of little like a hex grid into it, and you just kind of tear them out little pieces at a time. That's the best way I found to do this now that I've done 2 of these, and that's about the best advice I give you for this. If you've got something better, please put it in the description down below, but I think that's about the best thing I can find. Now I'm just going to take a knife and use some foam board, and I'm just going to cut a circle around, like a tracer circle around. This is going to be the base for the dungeon entrance, and I'm not going to show you the whole thing about what exactly I do to make the bases, but I just wanted to show you this so you can see just how much room I'm planning on giving it. Yeah, and all I'm going to do is simply just take this dungeon entrance, cave, hill, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just going to paint some PVA glue on the bottom. I'm going to paint it on pretty thick because I want it to stick on pretty well. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to glue it down, stick it down onto the base, and I'm going to stick it towards where the back of the cave or whatever the hill is, towards the back towards the base. There's not a lot of room in the back, and there's more room toward the front of the entrance, so you have just more room to play with, for rocks or whatever you want to do. Now here it is glued on after good and dried, and now I just have to figure out what I'm going to do as far as making this look like more of a natural incline, just smoothing out the edges of the bottom of this little hill or whatever you want, mound. And so I'm going to take some spackling, and I'm just going to put it on pretty thick around the edges of the bottom of this mound, and I'm going to make it look more like a natural incline. Now if I had more room on the base, I could do a lot more with this, but I have very little, so it's going to still kind of be a really pretty sharp incline, but it's better than just having just sharp edges like that. And so you see I'm just packing it on really thick, and then I'm gonna come back around through, and I'm just going to smooth it out and make it look more natural. I'm not worried about it too much because I know I'm going to be covering this with some foam grass, and just kind of I just want it to have like something to work with. And if you're gonna do this yourself, I would suggest you do more like my other piece and make a pretty good larger base, and put a bunch of rocks and stuff around the edges and bottom of this mound to make it look more natural, because this is a pretty sharp incline as is, and it doesn't quite look perfect, but it still works. It's a good piece for a war game. Now it is going to take quite a while for the spackle to dry, especially that thick, so you know, just expect to wait for this. And then the next part, which is my favorite part, and that is messing around with the wood filler and putting that on all over the base, even inside the little entrance and the floor. It's just, you're going to put it everywhere, and you're just going to let that natural rocky kind of rough look kind of come out of it. That's usually what I do. It's the easiest way to make rocks. Now there is a much better way to do rocks, but right here I'm not too worried about it, because I know I'm going to be covering most of this up with the foam grass that I have recently gotten. This is kind of my first forte in messing with that stuff. So previously I've just been messing with static, and I just do lots of various whatever, sand or dirt or whatever I have around the house, or rocks, and you know, actual trees. But this is you know, I'm going to be now messing a little bit with foam, and we'll see it in a second. Now the dry time on this isn't very long, and the biggest tip I can give you is that this is going to cause your base to bow. Put something heavy on both sides of it, and just let it dry that way, so hopefully it'll be more flat. Yeah, so the next part is actually pretty fun. I'm just going to take like some foam, random foam pieces that I have, and I'm going to tear them up and kind of get them to fit just right. And I want to make the rocks for the cave entrance just to kind of have like just something different based off of what they did on the picture. It was sort of that. I just kind of went my own way. It looks like they might have actually had some natural real rocks there. I don't know. I just made some out of foam. I'm also going to break up some small pieces just to kind of put around the base, just as little rocks, just to give it a little different look, something more natural. Once I find the right pieces that I want, I'm just going to cover them in some wood filler, and I had a pretty rough time getting this to stick. I tried to just let the wood filler naturally stick to it as it dried, and it worked a little. I ended up having to go behind it and throw a little bit of like hot glue behind it just to make sure it stayed. Now with wood filler, it won't take long for this to dry, and then you just take it outside, and I spray painted it a flat black. And now be warned, if you've ever worked with foam, spray paint can potentially make it melt, and since I use the cheapest spray paint and cheapest foam I can find, it does it a lot. But if you've got it really good and covered, you don't have anything to worry about. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and start painting this, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover every part that I know it's going to be grass or dirt. I'm going to paint it brown. Now, I'm using a burnt umber, and after that I'm just going to use various shades of lighter brown to kind of give it a different look. I don't expect to see much brown beneath the grass, but just in case there is, I like to have a little extra. There's also the cave entrance part, that trail. I'm going to leave that like a dirt. Now that I've got everything painted brown, I'm going to go back and paint the rock parts, and I'm just going to go over it with a really heavy dry brush with a color. It's a dark gray I use called Pavement. After that, I'm going to do various shades. I'm going to do a various lighter shade of a light gray. I'm also going to go over it with a brown, and then a tan, and then white, and then gray again. I just kind of want to do, and I'm making sure I'm doing all this while it's wet, so I'm getting a nice mixture of colors, and I'm getting some nice earthy tones in my rocks, and that's just the best way I found, and the quickest way I found to do rocks that look good, without just doing generic, black, dark gray, light gray. Now we can have a little some foam grass. First I'm just going to paint on some PVA glue here. Now using that same brush I used before, it's just an old brush. It's wider so I can cover a lot more ground. And I also have more of a detailed old brush that I'm going to use to get closer around the edges of the rocks and behind the rocks that are covering the entrance, just so I can make sure I get grass a little everywhere. Now I'm going to start doing the foam grass, and I'm just going to use a fine light green foam grass to cover up most of the base. And you see I'm just sprinkling it on here really thin, and I'm going to go over it, make sure it's really good and coated. At any point where I see any white glue sticking through, I'm going to put more grass there. once I've got it really good and covered with that light green, I'm going to go back through with a dark green foam grass, and I'm going to cover up. I'm just going to put it in spots where I think there would be more of a shadow, so the darker edges around the bottom of the hill, by the rocks, by the cave entrance, stuff like that. And I also do just a little bit of just sprinkling it around all over just to give it a different look. Then I'm just take some clump foliage and I'm going to put it around certain spots just to give it like little bushes. Then I'm going to follow that up with some coarse green, just to make it have like just the different clumpy sizes and difference in grass. Make it look more natural, as natural as I can anyway. Then I'm just going to seal it all in with some watered down PVA and let that dry, and we'll be good to go. So there you go, guys. I ended up making the piece of terrain. Yeah, it's a little different. I kind of did my own take on it. I wanted to try to make it the simplified version. Now, I did make another one while I was making this one that's a little more into it, so I'll show you that right here. And this just goes to show that if you want to put more effort into it, you can make a better piece if you want to. And you know, this still isn't great, but it's a better piece. I'm probably going to donate it to the store because we need some more fancy pieces there. And this video took long. I thought I was going to have it out last week, but I ended up getting sick and other things happened, and just some few errors I ran across making this piece of terrain that I just decided, you know, to go ahead and push an extra week, and so I could get it done correctly. And like any other piece that I make for my videos, this piece of terrain I'll give away for free. And to win this piece of terrain, I just need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and then down below in the comments put the word dungeon, and I'll do a raffle off of people who use the word dungeon, and I'll give it away to somebody, and I'll mail it out to you absolutely free anywhere in the world. I have no problem doing that. And I should have a video out probably next Monday to tell the winner. And at that point, I'll just tell you what you need to do, which will just basically let me know. Just contact me so I can get your information to send it to you. It won't cost you anything. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching. If you did like this video or got any value from it, please give me a thumbs up. This type of video that you do like, you know, making terrain or wargaming in general, just give me a subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos, and y'all have a good night.